Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I hope you stick around, and if you are a returning subscriber, I appreciate the love, the support, and the continuous consistency. Yeah, I realized that there was a lot of redundancy there, but anyways, the consistency as I try to be consistent with my YouTube videos. So yeah, man, today is gonna be a little bit different. Miguel is not preaching or anything of that sort. I'm just giving a story time. And with that being said, it's not something that you can take and apply to someone's life. You can learn something from the story, but it's different. It's my story, and hence everybody else's story is going to be different. When I lost my mom, a lot of people said it gets better with time, and a lot of people said time healed all wounds, or anything related to that matter. Things like you're gonna smile again, you're gonna laugh again, you're gonna find joy again. And obviously at that time I was really just going through the most. So mom passed away on the 12th of July. It's been a year, and I know it's not really like a good enough time to reflect on that, but I mean, like, 1 year is a year. 1 year is 1 year, guys. Oxalayo, a whole year has passed, and within that year I could have made so many beautiful memories with my mom. Like, I could have reflected on how it was going back home, having done some of the things that I did in first year, her reaction to some of the things that I thought, or I still think, she would have been disapproving of. Yeah, man, just this just gonna be this. There would have been so many beautiful memories. Also, just coming back home in June, but then I wasn't able to due to personal reasons. But like, just also coming back in December, like just spending time with my family, and everything that I was robbed of last year. That is time that elapsed, and within that time, just reassessing whether or not it is true that time heals all wounds. And as I said, it's not the same with everyone. It's not a subscription or whatever what you can apply to someone's life. One thing I've realized about grief particularly is that it's different from each person. Losing a mom is different from losing a dad, and losing a mom is not the same as someone else losing their mom too. Like, literally, me and someone close to me might both lose moms, but like, the pain is different. Losing a mom who's a believer is different from losing a mom who's not a believer, who was not a believer. Losing a mom who was almost present in every single thing, like, let's just say your relationships, like with my mom, she was present in my relationships, my friendships, like, she was so present, if I can even say, she was overly present. So losing a mom who was so present, to losing a mom who was absent, to losing a mom who was like semi-present, isn't the same. The pain is so different, it hits different. Losing a parent who you had underlying issues with is different. Losing a parent who you had peace with is different. So hence I said this is a story time. And I think also maybe you can learn one thing or two from it, but it's not something that you can subscribe to someone else's life and just look at my video, and then the next time maybe your friend loses someone, or someone dear to you loses a mom, then you take whatever I said and just use it for their situation. That's the point that I'm trying to bring across. Anyways, so I have finished first semester, been through the worst. That'll be like a testimony for another day and a story for another day. But anyways, I texted my mom. I'm like, Mom, you know what? I need therapy, right? I honestly thought my mom was going to be very negative about it, because she was very, very spiritual, and I thought maybe she would just tell me to pray or something. But surprisingly, she actually was on board. She's like, I told her to pray about it, and the following morning she got back to me and she's like, yeah, my child, you can go for therapy. So now I'm so happy. that my mom is gonna be with me in this healing journey, and everything is gonna be okay, and all the things that I've been through in first semester are not gonna have so much a hold of me. And I realized that one thing that I realized that I needed therapy was because it's just like there are so many issues that are preventing me from going to my day-to-day life, and I had so many triggers. I'm just like, now we can finally lay those beasts to rest, you know. My aunt comes to take me on the 11th of July to stay with her. I was not going home for the same reason, for therapy. And I was about to tell my aunt that very evening, but then a lot of issues arose. I went to bed angry, and she wakes me up at 3 a.m. She's like, please make me lunch. So I'm just like, okay. I make her lunch, and then she goes out of the door. She goes to a friend's place, I think. She comes back with a friend, and then they're sitting in the living room. She goes and wakes up her husband, and then they sit in the lounge, and they're like, come here. So I mean, I'm just like, yo, what kind of a setup is this? Like, what's happening? You know what I mean, though? Okay, cool. My aunt is like sitting next to me, and she's like, and then the husband stops rubbing my back, right? Like, you know, when someone is not okay, my husband starts rubbing my back. My aunt is holding my shoulder, and she's like, Denje. She starts crying. I'm like, why are you crying? What's happening? Like, guys, what's happening? Okay, in my mind, I'm like, who died? Yo, nah, it was like a very bad yeah. So she starts crying, and she's like, your mom is gone. Okay, it takes me like a minute for that to click. I'm just like, what? I'm just like, what? And then I start crying. And to be honest with you, I was not really crying because my mom has passed away. I was crying over the idea of losing her. Do you understand? Crying over her going. I mean, my mom is not gone, guys. My mom and I, we talked 2 days, 3 days before that about therapy. No, yeah, that was the 7th of July. I talked to my mom about therapy on the 7th of July. So this is like 4 days ago. I talked to my mom about therapy 4 days ago. On top of that, my mom texted me on the 10th of July to tell me that she was asking me, do you like your cell phones? You like your cell phones? Okay, honestly, to be honest, like the last few days before my mom passed away, like the things that she was texting me were not making sense, and she was not replying to my text. Like she would initiate a conversation, and then I would reply. I'm like, Mom, what do you mean? And then she wouldn't reply. Then she would initiate another conversation, and then I wouldn't be able to understand what she means. I'm just like, no, my mom can't be gone unless this is a prank, because my mom is supposed to help me go through therapy and unpack some issues that I've been bottling up for a very long time. So, okay, I'm crying, and then I'm looking at the screen, right? The screen in front of me, and it has different themes. So, you know, the theme that was there, right? Was it was like water, there were rocks, and then there was like the green land, and then there was the sky. And I don't know if it was a vision that I saw or if it was really like in my mind, but I believe it was a vision. I saw my mom very, very sick, to a point where Jesus was like, do you want me to take you? And she said yes. And I felt so much peace after watching the screen. I was like looking at the screen, and it's like I'm really like seeing this because I was. And then I felt so much peace, and in as much as I was crying, it was sinking in, but the realization of it sinking in was not as horrible. Do you understand what I mean? Because it's like there was that sense of peace. It almost felt as if Christ was also there hugging me and just holding me together, and just reassuring me that it was the best. It was for the best. Whatever happened was for the best. So, needless to say, I went to my bedroom, or the guest room, my aunt's guest room. I was sitting there, and I was crying, and Oh, before that, I talked to my aunts, my mom's sisters and brothers, my mom's sisters to be specific. Yes, I talked to my mom's sisters and I think my aunts as well, and then my other aunts. And I went to my bedroom. I was drinking water because I felt dehydrated from crying, right? And there I was on the bed, and my aunt had minutes then. She's like, do you want to call your friend? This one specific friend that everyone in my family really knows, who was also one of the people that were very close to my mom. I call him, I tell him, bruh, mom is gone. They were talking about my mom, like the memories and everything. And first it was a shock. I could tell that he was like from waking up and then to like being calm and just talking about things. And then I think it clicks in my head for a minute again, Ukuti. No, man, I'm actually talking about my mom, and mom is gone. Like, this is my mom. And I just start yelling. I just start crying. I put the phone away, and my aunt comes and takes the phone and talks to him. And they're trying to arrange for him to come see me. So after that, I make a prayer to God and I say, Lord, please help me to grieve in a way that glorifies you, but at the same time, please help me to be there for my siblings and be there for my family. Give me the strength to be strong, as a lot of people say, be strong, you're strong. So my aunt comes in, tells me that I'm going back home. So I'm getting into the shower, I'm showering, now my little cousins are hugging me. They're like, Danger, you okay? And just love those kids, man. Anyways, I'm showering and it hits me again because I'm like trying to stop the pain. I'm trying to stop the flow of emotions. I don't want depression. And my whole life is like, I run away from depression. Depression is not my portion. Yes, I can be depressed, but I'm never going to embrace it. I'm there in the shower and I scream. I scream and I don't even care who hears me. I'm like, the love of my life is God. I'm screaming at the top of my voice. Like, this is after the prayer, guys. This is after me acting like, oh God, it's okay, everything. Like, I'm screaming. And I'm just thinking, like, damn, she's really gone. You get what I mean? And then at the height of my emotions, I just shut down again. I stop crying. I just keep quiet. And that is just how it had been. My uncle comes and knocks on the door. I'm obviously showering. And he's like, are you okay? And then I'm like, yes. So around 7, my uncle comes and we're about to go home because my family was like, if I come back later, it will be too late. So I had to go that very same day, the 12th of July. So, okay, cool. I see my uncle, and I think one thing about my mom's death, or the good thing that, not, I don't want to say the good thing that came out of my mom's death, but one thing that arose inside of me was that I became more appreciative of family. So when I saw my uncle, it was a thing of like, wow, I still have family. I'm getting inside the car. Okay, let me just correct that. When you've gone through something traumatic or maybe you lost someone, the next minute you get someone who's so special to you, or the existing people that are special around you, that makes you very careful, and that makes you very appreciative of what you have. That thing of like, you don't really know what you have until you lose it. I did know what I had before I lost my mom, but it's like I feel like I understood more what I had while she was gone. Her absence made me realize of a lot of things, or made me aware of a lot of things that I had that I took for granted maybe. So, okay, I'm getting inside the car with my uncle. We're going back home. My principal calls me. She says her condolences, appreciate it. And I had a very close relationship with most of my teachers in high school. So, when I am, yeah, so in the journey home, and as I am approaching Lestrichet, I am looking and I'm just remembering the dream that I had. And so, literally, I think a week before my mom passed away, I had a dream. I dreamed, Lestrichet was different, and there was like different gardens, very beautiful, green, alive. There was a garden going down, right, and there was a hill and a valley. Yeah, I think that's what you call it. But there were so many trees, and that one that went down looked very shady. It was dark, and it looked like an adventure, but I'm not that curious. So I went uphill where there was light and where I knew that I could be okay. So when I get to the top of the hill, I see a tombstone, and it had a cross on it, and it was shining so bright. I became so scared. It almost felt like I was standing on holy ground, and then I wake up. So now when I am approaching Lois, I'm remembering Kutina. Lois looks exactly the same. In my dream, it looked different. It looks exactly the same. The only reason why Lois looks different now is because Lois no longer has your mom. That's the only different thing. And that was when I was just like so. I'm just like, wow, God showed me this beforehand, but I couldn't accept it. And even the things that my mom would tell me, the conversations we had before she passed away, it was like she was trying to give me hints that she was going, but I wasn't buying it. I wasn't in my head. Like, I'm not thinking like that. You get what I mean? Even the time when she called me, and on the 22nd of June, and she's like, giving me money. She gave me double of my allowance that month, and she gave me so much money. I'm just like so excited. She's like, because I remember it was during the time of COVID. I'm like, Mom, when are you gonna give me my allowance? She's like, I'll give you allowance. I can't give you your allowance because there's COVID and I don't have another danger, right? And then I'm like, Mom, there's Uber Eats, there's like online stuff. I can order things online. She's like, okay, she bought it. She bought into the idea and she gave me double of my allowance. Immediately when I got my allowance, I didn't even remember the promise I made to my mom. Mina, I'm getting into my nice clothes, look cute, post my pictures on WhatsApp. I block her though from my WhatsApp. I block her from seeing my status, obviously, but I post. I go to Rosebank. I buy nice things. I think I also bought clothes. I come back. I'm feeling a little bit of a flu. You know when you like do something wrong, you imagine things too much. I'm feeling a little bit of a flu, and I steamed myself that day because not one explained to my mom how I got COVID, because I explained to her she should give me my allowance. I promise I'm not gonna get out of the house. But immediately when the money got into my account, I became overly excited. So yeah, man, like the conversation that we had then was just so beautiful. She was saying her last words, actually, when I think about it. She was saying that I've been a good daughter and she loves me very much, and she's like, I have been a good daughter. Like, she was emphasizing. She said a lot of things, honestly, some of which, like, I feel like are a bit personal. And I mean, I'm thinking my mom is just saying all these things because she misses me. It's not clicking to me that my mom is going. You get what I mean? So yeah, man, we're on our way home now, right? And I am approaching Lois. I'm becoming a little bit like excited. And let me explain why. Because I haven't been away for like 6 months. Yes, I haven't been. No, that's not 6 months. From March. Yeah, from March I haven't been at home, and this is like July. I don't know how many months that is. Just do the maths. I haven't been at home for a whole semester. The last time I saw my mom was the 1st of March, and that was the day where she accompanied me to university. So there were a lot of times when I remember we were having our 1 week break where I told my mom, Mama, I need to see you, because my girl was going through the most. You know, those people who are close to me, you understand. Yeah, when I say the most, I mean, yeah, the most. So I needed to see my mom. There's just something like you just want to see your mom. And obviously just the how finances were at that time, being self-funded, etc., like she wasn't able to come, and I think just responsibilities and other complications. So when I was approaching Lois, it just felt like, wow, I'm going back home, and people are not really serious, like, you know. I didn't really lose my mom. This is just a prank, like not really a prank, but like in my mind, I just didn't believe it. I really just wanted to see it with my eyes, you know. So okay, cool. We are on our way home, and I see the tent. Like now things sink in, like reality just hits me. Like, dude, you're not back for some holiday. You're not back because your semester's over. You are back to bury your mom. The same mom who was supposed to help you to go through therapy and everything, like it's so crazy. And so I'm getting inside the yard with my uncle, and I start crying because the tent just made me realize that, like, for a minute I realized that I started crying so hard. And then I think when I reached like a point, or when I'm starting to feel the pain, like my chest becomes physically so, my heart becomes like physically so, literally having headache, my eyes are swollen, and the pain was just too much, to a point where I'm just like, I just stop feeling, I just stop crying, I get out of the car. And because I have been depressed before in my childhood, I never wanted to go back there again, you know. Like giving into my emotions almost felt like there was a bottomless pit and someone was throwing me inside. And I did not even know if there was a bottom. I did not even know if I'm going to be able to get out again. Because it took me so much to be able to survive my childhood. So, okay, I get out, and then a few people were just asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And in my mind, I'm just like, "Bruh, like I just buried my mom." That's like the most silliest question you can ever ask me. And I know it's not from a malicious place or whatever, but I myself, I'm avoiding to feel, and then you are coming and you're asking me how I'm feeling. Like that was just, you know, not it. At this point, I'm numb. I get into the house, I'm hyper, I'm cleaning, I'm doing chores. Like in my, like it doesn't even look like I lost my mom. My friend calls me, because the thing is, when I was still back in Joburg, I texted 3 of my close friends. You know, after talking to the family friend that my whole family knows. And I told them that mom is gone. So this one friend of mine was checking up on me. And I'm like, hi, like with a like a normal-ish voice. And he's like, how are you? I'm like, how can you ask that question? And then he's like, yeah, this was a very stupid question to ask. I'm like, yeah, very stupid. And then he's like, can he video calls? Because he was like very worried about me. I'm like, nah, I'm with people. And then I ended up hanging up the phone. So at that time, I really didn't want to talk to anyone. You know, I was very hurt, shame, and like honestly, even like reflecting on times when I was there for people who lost their loved ones or my friends, I can confidently say that I did not even know some of the things that I said. I didn't even know if I was like giving my friend the support that they needed, because losing a mom, to be exact, is the pits, you know. I slept, and then the following morning I was just so drained, because I get the previous night I was so hype, I was cleaning everything. The following morning I was so drained, I couldn't even do much. It almost felt like choosing between two nightmares, because I have had a lot of nightmares, especially in first semester. I was suffering from PTSD, and I did not know which one was worse. Waking up to a nightmare that your mom is gone, or remaining in the nightmares of your dreams and your fears and everything that you've been going through in first semester. At this point in my life, I'm just like, wow, life. I was experiencing so much pain in first semester to a point where when my mom passed away, it was like the last knock, like the last hit. And at this point, my heart just couldn't take it and I just stopped feeling, just became so desensitized. Um, I I was there helping to prepare for the funeral preparations just to remain sane because hey, if I stayed at home, I'd go mad. My family, needless to say, yeah, I'm using this word needless to say a lot of times, but my family kept me so sane. We're not talking about death. They're not making me remember why I'm here. They're just trying to be a good distraction. It was just like the good old days, when people just gather around and just talk about stories. And even when they talked about my mom, they talked about the good things, they'll joke about it, and things were just lovely. My friends called once in a while to give me the support that I needed, but at this point, I'm just not feeling things, you get me? The day of the funeral comes. I get dressed with my sister. We are about to go to the funeral, but first we have to go to get my mom's coffin and see her before we go to the funeral because we were not gonna open the coffin during the funeral. So there I was, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, finally I'm gonna get the closure that I need because when I came back from Joburg, I went straight to her room and I found nothing. But the room still smells like her, and even up until today, the room still smells so much like her. And my family was sweet enough to give me the room to make it mine. So now it's just like, okay, since I didn't get the closure that I needed, I need to see her I need to really see that, yo, mom is really gone. So they opened the tomb, right? I mean the coffin. I'm seeing the face. It's just opening that part of the face, and I look at her, and I know you guys won't believe me, but like that was when I believed that heaven existed. And let me explain. I looked at her and it didn't look like her. In fact, it wasn't her. And that was when I realized that we are not our bodies, because if we were our bodies, then our family wouldn't bury us. It would keep us. They would keep us, right? But you, the person, is housed in a body, and you make that body you. So without you, the body is nothing. It's just like us as Christians. We are vessel of Christ. Without Christ, we are not. We are nothing without Christ. I think you get what I mean. So it's just like I'm just looking at her, and all the life has been sucked out of her body. Her face looks very different. I don't even remember. She doesn't even look like how I last saw her the day when I went to university. She was very happy. Her daughters at varsity, her firstborn daughter for that matter, and she saw the beginning of the end. So, I mean, she was like laughing all throughout. I could see that she partially was a little bit sad because she loved me so much and she wouldn't be seeing me often. And I looked like very excited to leave her. In fact, I think I'll just insert something she said here. But anyways, so yeah, I'm looking at her. She looks nothing like my mom. And yeah, that was when I believed that if mom is not here, then she has to be somewhere that is in heaven. And so I get into the car. My friend is a bit lost. She's trying to find directions to my place. So she's never been to my place. We only met at extra classes. She's been my friend ever since, like supported me 100%. She's like the only person that was able to make it to the funeral, but she made sure. And by then there was still COVID, and wow, it was just so amazing to have her. In fact, like I was with her, like like I was with her throughout. So anyways, she finally makes it to my place, she's like emotional, like she wants to cry, and at that time I'm numb. You get me? At that time I'm numb, and I'm forcing myself to also cry too, like that thing of like, oh, bestie came and like hug her, but like the tears ain't coming out. Like the minute that I blocked my mind to feeling her, now my body really obeyed me. You know what I mean? Because at this point I will call emotions as equal. Yeah, I butchered it there, but emotions are not there. So the funeral starts, the memorial service. I'm supposed to speak on behalf of the kids, and then I say all the speeches, Tiko Zerapoyani, and my speech, and the whole procedure happens. The songs are playing, and we make our way to the burial site. So now the box was going down. I didn't cry because the person in the box is not my mom. It's just her body. My mom is in heaven, and that is why even during the funeral preparations, like people would say things like mufu, like they don't want to say my mom's name. They'll be like, the dead, and I hated it so much, but I couldn't say much. I don't know if it's just culture or what. But I was like, that was when I think I texted on Instagram. I'm like, my mom is not dead. Rather, she's more alive than ever, happier and free. But like, I'll just insert it here so that you guys can see. So yeah, and my mom is not dead. Like, my mom is dead, but she's not dead. Like she's alive. She's in heaven. She's not in the box. She's not going down, because I thought at first these things would traumatize me, but I remember even watching this other movie. They're like, there's a reason why we keep the casket open during funerals, though they didn't in my mom's funeral. It's because Jesus has overcome death, and now we're not afraid of death. Doesn't mean that the pain and the grief is not as intense, but we know our identity, and we know that our home is not here. So the box goes down. Even my siblings are not crying, and I'm just thinking that maybe this is the Holy Spirit who does that. Because imagine my little brother, like so young, grade 3 by then, and just trying to put it together that for the next phases of my life, not even high school, not even like passing matric, my mom won't be there, was just too much to comprehend. But like, he seemed okay. And even from his speech, he was talking about how, Mom, you're in heaven, you're in a better place. I'm glad that I don't have to see you crying anymore. And it was just so comforting. Hey, it was just so comforting. The funeral ends, we go back home. I make sure that my best friend gets food, and I'm just with her throughout. And my best friend is looking at me. She's like, my friend, I am so worried about you that like you're not grieving and you're not feeling it, and I just wonder how you'll be when you actually feel it. I just wonder how you'll be when you actually get it, like when it actually gets to you. And guess what? It gets to me eventually. But then that will be part 2. That will be part 2 due to time. But yeah, as I said, this is a story time, but also just reflecting because it was my mom's death anniversary on the 12th of July. It was just not easy as well, but God has been keeping me, and God is faithful. It's also this video is also an appreciation of God, and also just my best friend who has been with me through every single phase of my life, up, high, low. Even in first semester, man, like this lady, I would go to her room and cry. I would sleep over there, like even if sleepovers were not really allowed. Like, she had my back. She still does. But anyways, keep a lookout for part 2, where I actually explain to you guys what I mean when I said it finally hit me and what happened then. This is gonna be a 3-part series. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.